I mean, when your lunch at Panera Bread costs $20, I'm guessing you probably do need to make 128,000 to feel financially okay.
To be
Um,
able to afford the chicken in the sandwich.
I think that's said in another episode. I realize that's why they call it Panera Bread because you get mostly bread. I got I got like my sandwich, it shrunk, and I get back and I open it up and I get the little bag of Panera Bread potato chips, which I think I probably have like 30 bags in the pantry because I never eat them. And I'm sitting there looking at the sandwich, and there's like there's no like meat or cheese leaking out from the sides, which is not a good sign.
Yeah.
So I like open the sandwich up, and then it's like I had to get my cell phone and like turn the little flashlight on to look
Magnify.
to see if I could find the chicken. And it's like a $13 sandwich, dude. So if you
Yeah.
get that, and if you get like a cup of soup or something or a drink, yeah, it's like you spend $20 anymore for lunch.
Yeah.
What's breakfast? $5 if you're lucky, you're at 25. And if lunch is 20, then how much is dinner?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you're gonna spend $100 a day to feed yourself. um, but we talked about this in another episode. This is really a byproduct of its what I don't know, lifestyle creep or something. I don't know what the hell you
Mm.
call it. If you go back in, my old neighborhood, what people what people think is poverty now is significantly different than what we thought was poverty back then.
Mm.
We grew up in a 700 square foot house with like seven people stuffed in it. Not a fun place, right? Um, but if you look back now, it's like, well, their idea is you need to have at least a 2,000 square foot home because I think the average American home is what, like 2,800 square feet now
Oh
on
wow.
average. Yeah, it's big. Just like the median income's up. Like I thought it was high 50s, but here it says 67,000 for median
Mm.
household income now. But it's you know that, well, whatever, I got family and whatnot who didn't escape where we came from, but they'll say they're living in poverty, but they got a $1,200 iPhone in their hand, and they got a new LCD TV. For they got more in electronics than they have cash in the bank,
Hmm.
if that makes any sense. And they got their clothes and they got all this stuff, and it's like, well, we've now have become to equate these like quality of life aspects into whether or not like we're in poverty or not. Okay, when I think of poverty, I'm thinking, do you have a roof over your head? Do you have running water? It doesn't have to be nice, but is it clean and safe? Do you have three squares a day? Right? Like, do you have some clothes? Do you have a little bit of money that if you need something you can get? Like my definition of poverty is obviously different because how we look at what we think the average person deserves now is, a 1,200 square foot apartment with two bedrooms and a den, and every room's got a TV that's got some kind of Netflix, and like that's what we're kind of setting the floor as the minimum that we expect now. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing. Is it a bad thing that what everyone wants is like getting higher? The problem is, are we going to do the things we need to do to live that life?
Yeah. No, you're right. We've turned what are luxuries into what we now consider must-haves. You can see it throughout society, though. I mean, spoiled is a little bit a strong word, but that's kind of what it feels like. Just uh, across the entire society, we're spoiled for choice when it comes to the foods that we eat. We're spoiled for choice when it comes to what we can buy electronically. Like we're spoiled for choice when it comes to basically everything, especially in this country.
And even when the way I grew up, I'm looking at, my father worked in a steel factory. My mom was, who knows where she disappeared. She evaporated. But I never felt like I was poor. I knew we were struggling at times. I was working multiple jobs as a young teenager. But you ate fast food. You ate a lot of frozen stuff. The food we cooked wasn't the greatest. We had a crappy apartment, but it was clean. It wasn't like full like cockroaches, and it wasn't water dripping in it. It's no place I'd want to live now, trust me. But it was a home, right? It was warm. It had an air conditioner in one of the windows. It There was nothing wrong with where we lived. It's just that now our expectations have changed. And that also means that people that are like in the middle class, that has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's really shifted up on what we think we should have. And I look back, we also look at, well, everyone deserves to eat, this kind of food every day. And it's like, well, I was happy to get a Whopper back in the day. What are you talking about? Like, I don't have to have, organic avocados and like Bulgarian feta cheese and like. I get it. Like, it'd be nice to shop at the Whole Foods, but I don't think that's a determination because everyone has to shop at Whole Foods, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what did we do 100 years ago? We'd go roast an animal over the fire or some crap. Like, I don't know. Our wants and our expectations have shifted so much that a lot of it from a materialistic side that we feel we have to have 128,000. Now, that depends where you live, obviously. In San Francisco or New York, 128,000 is a little bit different. If you're somewhere like Cleveland, you probably don't need as much money.
Mm-hmm.
How many kids do you plan on having? That would greatly change that. But could a family live on $60,000 a year, especially with the, tax credits you get? Yeah, you can. You wouldn't have the trip to Cabo, and you wouldn't have the brand new car every 3 years. But it's like, so does everyone deserve 2 vacations a year somewhere nice? Be able to release a new car every 36 months, have a 2,800 square foot house that's fully furnished, and you got the lawn furniture out back with the propane fire pit. Is that what everybody deserves now? And if they don't have that, then you're living in shambles.
Yeah. The other place that my mind goes to, let's hold 128 as it is what it is. But and we talk about the education system a lot, but are we graduating people with the capacity or with the skill sets to earn 128,000? Like, it's a lot of money. If median household is 67, and I assume the median household has like two incomes, maybe. Like, do we as a society have the skill sets to have everybody make 128, or are we graduating far too many people that realistically the cap out at 60, 70K? I don't know.
I think if you go on Indeed, there's like 800,000 openings for salespeople in this country.
Mm-hmm.
That could probably pay you. I mean, some of them are junk commission only jobs, but there's a lot of jobs in sales right now paying 75 to 150. The problem is no one wants to do that. So, just because you can show up and sit in chair every day doesn't make you worth 128,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that our schools are pumping out the people to do this in mass right now. Maybe you get 128K dual income, right? That's two school teachers could pull that off.
Right.
Okay, 128,000, at least where we're at in Detroit, was a good life. Nice home, nice neighborhood, nice schools. You both have cars. You're saving something for retirement. But that's assuming that you don't blow all your money on vacations, that you're buying all these electronics and all the clothes and all the PS. We feel like if we can't go out to dinner 3 nights a week, we're broke.
Right.
If again, like, people they go to Mexico once or twice a year before COVID. And they feel if they don't do that, then their quality of life is terrible. It's like, whoever said you're guaranteed a vacation? Like, dude, we went up north. We were broke. You tented. Kids rode their bikes around the playground. You picked up sticks and you banged it on the ground. That's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
The thought of like leaving the country was never an option in my neighborhood. But we've lost sight of that. If we can't have all this stuff, we deserve the new iPhone every year. We have to go on that vacation every year. And if we don't, then your quality of life isn't good. And I think that's kind of BS at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's incredible how quickly this has grown too, because it was only a few years ago where Like there was that whole media storm around the company that raised everybody's wages to like 70,000 because that was the number that where you stopped worrying about money and you were happy. And in just a few years, it's now gone up another nearly 60 grand, like double. It's
Yeah,
insanity.
I mean, inflation's one issue, but you blame social media. You see these people with all these cool clothes and these electronics, all these influencers going to Bali and this and that, and you want that, and you want that too.
Yeah.
And then again, if you can't have that, then it's your employer's not paying you enough, and it's the greedy corporation, or you're getting screwed over. It's the billionaires. You can't go to that. You can't go to Bali this year because of Bill Gates. Goddamn Warren Buffett. I can't go to Hawaii this year. It's
Pay your
like
taxes.
pay your fair share of taxes. You Meanwhile, he goes and gets a dollar egg McMuffin for breakfast, and you're out at some place spending
Yeah.
$22 on avocado toast.
Yeah.
So
Great point.
there's a difference, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we sit around and say, because we see this stuff on social media and our friends and this social pressure and as a whole, we start saying, if we don't have that, if we can't have that, then it's somebody else that's not allowing me to have it. Or if I don't have it, then my life sucks.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people that make 50 grand a year that are pretty goddamn happy.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
save their money. Dude, I know a guy, I know a few people. I'll use one in particular. Worked on the shop floor for 40 years and at the big three, and he's a multimillionaire.
Mhm.
Did he have it at 40? No. But he saved his money. He didn't go to Cabo twice a year. He would get his vehicles paid off. He wouldn't lease it. Like, he was smart about his money. He saved and invested. This guy was a shop floor guy. He didn't go to college. But he's sitting on millions now. His retirement's great, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want to do that now. It's like we have to. I gotta live for now. You only live once. You only live once, right, King? But
Yeah,
I don't
thanks
want
a
to
lot.
live. I don't want to live broke when I'm 63, right?
100%.
So this is only going to get worse. You're going to see someone with that Tesla, and then you're going to want a Tesla, and then it's like, wow, that Tesla costs a lot more than that Camry, but you deserve it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And then you're right. I think the headline here is that 128K is what people feel they need to be financially okay. So I think a lot of people are going to be a little bit disappointed.
I mean, if you think about it, if you can, let's go back and you're making 80K and you manage your money. And again, if you have 10 kids, that's your fault. You chose to have 10 kids.
Yeah.
Let's just say someone as an individual is making $70,000 a year and they manage their money right. They could, depending on where you're at in the country, I know. In Detroit, anyway, if you're making 70 grand, could you put $1,000 away a month in the bank? Yeah.
Mhm.
That's $12,000 over 5 years. That's $60,000 with the compounded interest. That's $100,000, right?
Mhm.
And I think if you did that over the course of 15 years and you kept putting $1,000 a month in the bank and you kept investing the money, it'd be over $500,000 by the time you're like 35 years old. But that's if you chose to not blow all your goddamn money.
Yeah. Right.
And we don't do that, though. It's vacation, it's experiences, it's bars, restaurants, clothes, food, cars, electronics. And then when the accounts run a little bit light, it's that goddamn Warren Buffett again.
Yeah. It's somebody else's problem. Yeah. Poor guy.
Warren Buffett's why I can't go to Bali. Now you should have like saved, invested some of your money, right? Or we're often doing jobs that we don't want to. We're doing jobs we want to do that don't pay very much, and there's a job that pays 3 times as much, but we don't want to do it. Well, that's not my fault or your fault, or it's not Warren Buffett's fault. Right? It's I got no love for the billionaires. Don't get me wrong. My father always told me it's like it's not the millionaires that are going to stop you from becoming a millionaire.
Mm. Yeah.
Like I didn't need to go take $1 out of a billionaire's pocket to make my wealth. And I think when you get through that, it's like we're just we're our own worst enemy sometimes. We're over there worrying that like we're not getting paid enough because of the billionaires, but we're blowing our money, not thinking that for every $100 I blow right now, if that $100 was just invested in over 15 years, it probably cost me 2,500.
Hmm.
And we don't think like that. It's
No, we do not.
I that Instagram person I follow is at Bali. I got to go to Bali, and you know, you get there and then you ain't got no money for food. So, I do like it because I want people to have more. It's exciting. I'm not someone who just wants to sit here and stay stagnant. I'm want to better my life. There's more things I want to get. There's places I want to see and travel to, and it requires more money. So I don't think everyone should just settle for the basic apartment that I grew up in with eating banquet frozen meals and driving a 10-year-old used car. Like, I don't think that's the answer, right?
Mhm.
It's cool that we're raising the bar. The problem is people start believing that if they can't have all this stuff they see on social media, then their life's not worth it.
Hmm.
And it's like, you got to go to any working class neighborhood where people are just happy to have a little home and a car and they get to take some kind of vacation, even if it's like taking their little RV up north or something for a week with their kids and kind of just enjoying the little things. It's if we can't go ball out of control at the peninsula and like in Europe, then life's not worth living. And I think that's gonna become a bigger issue.
It's a very dangerous mindset.
Yeah, especially when you got, a bulk of society who can't perform at that level to make that kind of money anyways.
So
there's
true.
there's always going to be another Mark Zuckerberg, but there's going to be 5 million other people who are going to end up working in an Amazon warehouse. So
Right.
no trips to Bali for you. Wouldn't that be like the greatest recruiting thing right now? Like, everyone's doing like hiring bonuses.
Yeah.
Come work for us for 6 months and we'll send you to Bali.
Food's on you though.
And I'm only saying that because I've seen so much Bali crap in my Instagram lately. I'm like, this is just where everyone has to go right now. And of course, it's some influencer who probably got the vacation paid for free.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna spend 10,000 to go. It's like, man, maybe we can just send people to Cabo. All right, screw it. Let's send people to Tampa. Stay with us for 6 months. If you're like Amazon right now, come work for us for 6 months and we'll send you to Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
That'll probably get it done.
Yeah, it probably would.
Yeah. Does that work for you?
No. I can say the Bali trip.
Oh man. Anyways, I'm done ranting.
All right, sounds good.
I get you.